Welcome back. You're still watching the newsroom right here on ET Now. While the market continues to reel under pressure, the important discussion right now, or the spotlight, is on GST Council's recent clarification related GCC, or popularly back office operation of ITES industry. It's a $200 billion industry, and why this clarification is important. Today we are discussing it with Mahesh Jaisingh of Deloitte and Ashish Agarwal of NASSCOM joining us. Mr. Jaisingh, though Deloitte has welcomed this particular clarification, how meaningful is this for the industry in your view? Because it's a large industry we are talking about. What kind of boost can it give to the industry? Mr. Jaisingh?
Thank you. I think, like you said, we welcomed it. It is indeed a boost, but it's important to understand build up and the narrative to why we are excited and delighted about this clarification. It's been a 2.5 year plus journey when we had an advanced ruling that actually stated that back office services could actually lose their export status because they were treated as an intermediary. And typical in taxing matters, when interpretation is taken, that starts spreading. And over the last 2.5 years, 3 years, there have been intense disputes that have arisen. So to us, this clarification, in a way, which took some time, but I think it's better late than, and in this form, because it's a very elaborate form, abundantly clarifies the nature of what is an export and not an export. And like you hit it bang on, it's close to a $200 billion sector. And therefore, now having clarity brings out a very important parameter and focus from the government on the ease of doing business, where they don't need to look further, and these exports are indeed zero rated.
Ashish, from the NASSCOM's point of view, also not only for the growth of the industry, but it's a very large employment generator as well. And it has a ripple effect on the entire society. After all, there are cities and there are regions in the country completely built out of because of that industry. And it has a big effect on consumption, real estate, indirect of course, but it does have. So if this clarification has come in now, what kind of growth do you see in the BPM sector because of this?
Absolutely, you're right. I mean, close to $200 billion. And if you look at the last 1.5 years, the journey in the pandemic itself, the industry has actually done quite well. And as an industry, we are targeting a growth which can go from here to close to $350 billion over the next 5 years. I'm talking about annual revenue from close to 200 now to a target of, let's say, 350 billion. So when you look at that, one big segment of this industry is the IT-enabled services, or what we call the business process management industry, which is really, processes from data analytics to payroll processing, or any process of a multinational corporation being done in India. And there is a high quality work, and a lot of that work is going to happen given the fact that, we are seeing a lot of technologies in automobile and in the health sector and so on and so forth. So given all of that, I think what this measure does is it sets to rest an uncertainty that was plaguing our industry for the last 3 years, where the exports in a lot of these cases, because of the interpretational issues on the intermediary matter, were resulting in our industry, getting bogged down with the delay in refunds, with denial of refunds, and more recently getting into disputes. Now, all of that is behind us. So the message for the global market is really to say that, we don't have to face with all of this uncertainty, and companies can actually go ahead and plan their contracts, keeping in mind the fact that, there would not potentially be issues on this account in the foreseeable future. So from a purely ease of doing business perspective, I think it's a great move. Now, obviously, we have to see over the next 2-3 months how it plays out in terms of, actually companies seeing it in action.
Ashish, how is the visibility on business for the sector? Because, we are observing large MNCs, several of them announcing expansion in emerging markets, including India as a big strategy. Deloitte itself is talking about big FDI coming in. So all of those back office, after all, are looking for centers. Is India emerging as a top preference for that?
See, just to give you a flavor, when you look at artificial intelligence, there is work which is happening in US markets and EU markets. but some of the outsourcing of the analytics related to that work is actually happening in India. So over the last, I think 2019 to about 2014, about 140 odd global capability centers came into India. And still, if you look at the Fortune 500, probably around half of them are still not here. So I think the market where we'll see a lot of new players coming in and the existing players growing in this entire space of global capability centers and business process management, I think that will set to continue. And if you look at the core IT services, there also we are seeing a lot of contract R&D work happening in India. That will continue, and the traditional IT services anyway, because of the digitalization wave in the global context and also the domestic market now starting to catch up over the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, you have just seen the IPOs in the product space, right? So not IPO, I mean the listing in the US market, for example. So some of that trend will also catch up over the next few years. So we are quite optimistic.
And Mahesh, so from here on, what kind of investments do you see coming into the sector, into the space? I know you consult with many of them. Your firm works with some very large corporations who are looking at increased investment in India and would require back office and IT related back offices in India. So can you give us some visibility? What can the potential be next 3, 4, 5 years?
I think our outlook is similar to what Ashish has chalked out on the roadmap from a close to 200 billion to a 350 billion. And therefore, to us, that growth trajectory will not only stay, but only increase. And, you know, given that we're discussing this clarification, which was a huge concern, I think that this having come out and being very clear, and now I think the next 2-3 months looking at how it's implemented will only reassure investors to put in more of their investment into India, and this growth trajectory will be met. That's our assessment.
All right, Mr. S. Jaisingh as well as Agrawal, thank you so much for helping us put this matter into perspective. It's a big welcome from both of you and will boost investments and generate employment as well in the country because of that. With that, it's a break. On the other side of the break, a big exclusive coming in, an interview you would not want to miss with Vodafone.